And that, hey, look, there we are. We did
We're
it.
live.
We did it, everybody.
Lovely, 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 lovely.
It got dicey there for a little bit. It really was hit or miss for like a little bit. But now we're here and we're live, and I just have to redo this.
Redo that. There we go. Oh yes.
So that works. I will be working on a few things in the background as we do stuff because I'm trying to get things to work better.
Fair play.
So don't mind me if I'm staring off blankly at the screen for certain things. I swear to God, it's for good stuff. It is. I'm just trying to get things to work better.
No, you just not paying attention to me.
I'm paying attention. I absolutely am paying attention.
Thank you very much for the host, Michael.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
See, I paid attention to that.
Indeed. Hello, everyone. It's the Game on Plitter podcast with myself, Lardteamaker, aka Will McKellar. Joining me, it's Mr. Technical. It is the awesome. It is James Atkinson.
Good morning. Hello.
And if they are on the other line, it is our very special guests of the day. First of all, he is a trophy hunter. He is a streamer. He is part of the community. It's Gio.
Hello. Can you hear me?
We can hear you perfectly. And joining him, it is our very, very, very special guest making her debut. It is the Patreon saint of TGWPI, the very awesome, the very lovely. It's Kimmy.
Hello.
It's background Kimmy.
Background Kimmy.
How is everyone today? How are you? You all right? You good? As we all rush it wants to say. Good, eh? So yeah, so on today's show, we do have a couple of bits of news items. They're good, I promise. They're going to be meaty. We do have a Devil May Cry 5 talk. Yes, there will be spoilers, but we're going to try and move it to the back of the show so you can listen to all of it without being interrupted. And if you choose to walk away from the rest of the Devil May Cry talk, that's perfectly fine with us. Okay.
I was gonna say we do like good at meeting here.
I know you do. So, also we're going to be talking about what we've been playing. We're going to be talking to Kimmy about why she's on today, because there's a reason, and it's time for us to give back to her because she's given so much to us. And so, shout outs and the regular stuff, really. I'm not going to. Fair enough, Michael. Michael's going to be staying for the whole podcast. We thank you very much for that. So we might as well get started. And we'll start with this. We'll start with the big news. So it's been GDC this week, and Google had their presser because they were launching whatever it was they were going to be launching, and we found out they're called the Stadia. Now, it is not a console. It is not a console by the traditional standard terms. It is browser-based. Yeah. It is, you can have it on your phones. You can have it on your PC. And it is basically a streaming service where you'll be able to stream games to your browser, and you can also stream them on the expansive YouTube. Yeah. They do have some features with it, so you can have like picture-in-picture of other you're streaming alongside. You can do a thing called crowd, where if someone's playing in the game with you, or they're watching you on there, they can join you in the game if you want. Because hopefully they've added a certain bit in there where you can turn that off. Because if you're trying to play a game and don't want really randoms joining you, that doesn't sound like a great idea if you have that option.
the problem with that too would be like also what if you want only specific people to join in?
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be an interesting thing.
So before I say other bits, about it, because we had questions that weren't answered. Who wants to go first with what their thoughts are?
You go first.
Yeah. Oh, we totally don't Google right now.
Googleception. But yeah, Gio, what do you think of this?
I haven't done too much besides a few things we've seen and heard from other people. It's feel like with other products, we've heard stuff. Some people try and do things, so it's kind of wait and see if we actually get what they say. Because it sounds if it works, it would sound cool, especially with this a lot of future of console gaming. Like a lot of people, you see them going towards things similar like this.
Yeah.
Especially with Xbox, apparently they're going to be doing an online only version. We heard this should be announced soon. So I mean, if it works, it'd be interesting. But a lot of times I'm like, we won't. If it's one of the things, we won't really get too hyped for it until it's actually out and see if it actually works as they say. Because a big problem with that, even if it does, I have friends with a lot of concern with what if you have crappy online? What if you have no online? Like that's a problem going with a lot of
requires It requires 25 megabytes a second download speed for 1080p. They won't go anywhere below 720p, which will require 15 megabytes a second internet speed.
Yeah. So if you don't have that sort of speed, did I say anything about upload speed, James, on it?
Yeah.
It's you have to have internet, 25 megabyte a second internet. So that's
Right.
that's probably down. It's download versus upload. So I don't know about.
Yeah.
You figured if you're paying, I guess they're saying if you're paying for the download, then the upload is fine.
Yeah. Because I don't know, that again, that's a bit exclusionist, really, I guess. Because I know you're going to have a lot of download speed if you're going to stream the thing.
Yeah.
Because they're apparently saying it's seamless streaming it, and from their nice little spiel, their nice little show reel that they did, it seemed that it was very instantaneous playing from it from starting it, which is quite nice. I do like that idea. I don't know though. The internet speed's a problem, and that's a big problem. It's a no-go for Michael, so that's a big concern for him again, because the infrastructure is still not there here yet.
Yeah. Cause even me, technically I'm supposed to have 50, but even then mine goes like all over Fritz at times. And you never know, it randomly drops while I'm planning. Oh no, like
Because you saw as well they were doing a multi-chip thing. And they're doing comparisons between the single and the multi is like, surely you would want it multi all the time because it looked so much better.
Yeah.
And, I had questions. And I'll ask Kimmy's opinion and James's opinion in a few moments. But I had questions for it. It's like, how much and where do you pay?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you access your library? Because if that's just play the game after seeing an advert, where's your library of games? Is it only YouTube you can stream to? Do you save any data? Where do you save data? Is if you want to save your game progress, is that extra cost? And unstable internet, because if your internet's not there, you're not going to have it, and again, you're not going to be able to access your library of games. So that's my questions for it. Kimmy, what do you think?
I just can see this leading to a huge problem with like the YouTube creators with copyright content or trolls trying to get on there, because if there's no way to manage the people in your game area, I can see huge problems with that, and then like people getting demonetized or copyright claimed, and there's so many options of like where the like trolls can hurt the content creator. Not really any platform, if they do allow cross platforms besides just YouTube.
Yeah, because I noticed that the actual games themselves will be fully cross-platform, so playing with other people should be okay, who have like PlayStations and everything else. But yeah, I can perfectly agree with that concern of the trolls aspect, because
Yeah.
we try it, they try it in Twitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's also a good idea too, because if we're doing it off YouTube, then like what are about games are technically like whitelisted, but off YouTube, can we also able to stream the like what games have to be careful
The
with,
automatic deflector
or what if it's too mature, things like that.
Yeah, they're valid concerns. I mean, even Michael was saying that there's just so many unanswered questions at the moment that the connection speeds are the major things for putting him off at the moment. And I know there's other people that might be in the chat, and if they are there, hello, talking about, well, it's no physical copies, it's all digital. I don't like that. I still want the physical copies. So that puts them off. But James, what did you think about it? Because I know you were partially watching it as well at the same time.
Yeah.
All right. So, lots of things to uncover here, because I've the best way to describe this is I not only tried to watch the majority of it, watched the recap of it, then I read the interview with Google's CEO that he did about it with Polygon after the fact, where they asked him questions about every single thing. So, Ace, of course we remember you. How you doing?
Hi, Ace.
Of course we remember. So, here, shall I start at the top of the list and work my way down?
Yeah.
Number one, as a philosophy and as a piece of technology that's going to push forward the industry, Stadia is a great idea. I understand where they're going with it. It is the future of where we're going to be seeing gaming going. It absolutely makes sense. The PC gaming market has literally been doing this for years.
Yep.
This is exactly where it's going to be going and what it's supposed to be doing. It makes sense. Problems we see with it: A, the fact that you're constantly streaming the service, which not only leads to the internet issue, the infrastructure issue.
Yes. That is it.
He said, like, Will was in his 40s, I was in my 30s. One of us was a plumber, right? If I'm not mistaken, with Ace. That's what it was. And we sat down and we had a nice, wonderful chat about it, Ace, too.
Well, let us tour and continue, and we will find out more about us and joining us a bit more.
Allow me to sing you the song of my people. Which is raging at video games.
So yeah, you were saying.
So it's a wonderful piece of technology that I agree is going to become the norm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
The internet speed is an issue because there's a lot of lack of infrastructure, and if you listen to where the countries they're releasing in most of the modernized world is getting it. It's the United States, Europe, parts of North America. But if you're looking at where a lot of the other things where there aren't great amounts in parts of Asia, but if you're looking at where things aren't being done, it's a lot of the third world countries that don't have either internet or the infrastructure for said internet. Second problem with that, Will and James. That's Will down there. I'm James. Chris may or may not show up. Depends on how bad the work shift was last night. Your next problem, latency. Now, this may have been just because of where it was, but if any of you, and I've watched some clips of this, if you rewatch the guy playing Assassin's Creed, he tells the character to jump up the ledge and presses the A button to jump. There is like a full 2 seconds before the character actually does the command. So if you're doing this in a single-player game, think about trying to play a Dark Souls, a Shikiro Dies Twice, trying to play a Fortnite, playing this at this, because you're asking the internet to go up and down, back and forth to do this. You're playing multiplayer. You're connecting in with your people to play these games. They're connecting in to you to play that. What's it going to be like trying to guard somebody in a multiplayer NBA basketball game when you can't And you have to deal with a 2 to 3 second lag latency. What is a fighting game going to look like? If you're telling me you can't do that. Now, that is another huge issue. The catalog of games is a question. They said that they have this out to developers, and that's good, and the developers are working with it. But is this going to push the industry? What is this going to do to the industry as a whole? Is because you're creating is this going to potentially attack certain people's titles because now we have to develop these multiple wide glassing things that we have to be able to build these infrastructure into to this console. You know, like I have to build in now that these people can drop in at any second to this game and do this at any point in time. You know, I want to be able to have this shared everywhere. I can have a YouTube video help at any point in time.
Yeah, you could also have the assistant, the Google Assistant from your controller. Hi, I'm stuck on this bit. Could you help?
Clippy's making a comeback. Clippy is making a comeback, which is moving, and even moving on from that. Price point. What's the price point going to be? What's the streaming service going to be? Thank you again, Ken. Got a little bit.
Gio started it. He so started it this time.
Yeah, but this console, there's going to be a cost for the console, but there's going to be a streaming there's going to be a price involved. You know, there's going to be a streaming service price. There's no way that they're building this model where you can buy the games individually. So that moves us into, well, how much is that going to cost? What's the monthly fee? What's going to be the charge for the Premiere service? What are the you know, what's the infrastructure? What is there going to be the third-party support? Because this console's, you're building up a new thing, and Google has a ton of money, but at the same time, they've had plenty of projects that have gone by the wayside. Hey, remember Google Plus? That was a thing. Anybody use that social network? And it's
gone by April 1st.
And even beyond all of this, say Stadia comes out, it works as expected. The latency is not an issue. It has third-party support for games. It makes it very interesting and very good, right? So we'll say let's say it works as expected. That the console as a technical thing works.
Yeah.
How does that help the YouTube platform? Copyright strikes of content in games, jumping in and out, Article 13 coming out and possibly doing that. You are basically putting yourself and saying YouTube's going to be a major part of this, and you could have an entire continent that won't be able to access some of the content that these people's creating. Also, what does that do for the creator market? How do they blend in? How does a channel that just wants to create YouTube videos now have to deal with the fact that they have to be able to stream back and forth directly to that? Moving from there, how do you deal with live streaming, censoring live streaming? How does that work as a streaming system? How do you get overlays involved? Because a lot of these streamers have overlays, even on your YouTube side. What does that do to that whole third-party market? What does it do to Streamlabs and OBS? And essentially, where does that push Twitch and Amazon? Because ultimately, you look at this and you go, okay, this is the thing. Does this push Amazon to maybe purchase Sony? And now there's their established gaming division right there with first-person titles, and they can integrate Sony into the PlayStation.
Yeah.
You know, Sony PlayStation built into the Twitch. Does that help? You know, this is going to cause some ripples and shifts in the dynamics, but it all depends on the price point. Because let's be honest, if you told me that Stadia comes out, the controller is conservatively, or I'll say like $75 for the controller that gives you the access to all the systems, and then you're paying $15 a month to play games.
Yeah,
that's conservative, right? Because you look at EA's Origin full Premier access is $15 a month, and then you know an Xbox Elite controller is $75 to $100.
Yeah, over here it's 130 quid for one, the Elite.
Right. So, but we'll say like $100 price point buy-in plus a $15 a month thing. Okay, That's fair. That's a good price point. It's a cheap entry for people to get into gaming. The price point is key to this thing's success, because if it comes out and says, guess what, you're not quite Xbox controller, because you know only this thing's moved down here and this thing's moved up here. This thing is, you know, $200. That's going to push a lot of people away. Because for $200, I can go out and buy an Xbox One S right now. And I can get Fallout as part of it. And get a $60 game, just like that. Easy. So, price point is key. And we won't know this until the summer. And the summer, they haven't guaranteed E3. Because they literally, and this question irked me a bit when I read it, but I can hear it. The guy said, the interviewer asked, so I know we haven't talked about price yet. And I know that you're probably just going to give me a candid answer if I ask you about price. And the guy just said, well, let's just assume I gave you a candid answer, and laughed. That was the CEO of Google talking about price point of this thing.
Oh dear.
So there's a lot of potential, and I'm withholding judgment on this because this could be very good. Now, if you told me that all of a sudden this becomes a kumbaya moment, and because once again, they also said cross-platform. You did hear them mention cross-platform. So if this becomes a kumbaya moment where all of a sudden you've got these different things all coming in together, if Xbox, so if Microsoft buys in, if Sony buys in, if Nintendo buys in, it makes sense. Me personally, I think Nintendo's the first to buy in, and buy in hard.
Wow. Because they don't have a full, proper online service, really, do they?
They don't have a full, proper online service. They're already they're already working with Xbox. And here's the kicker. They have their games that they make for that system aren't as physically demanding, but also have the greatest ability to optimize what Stadia does. Mario Party, for instance. Mario Party dropping in and out with your streaming with your buddies, your friends, or your audience is a huge opportunity. Super Smash Brothers, same difference. Having people be able to queue up to play against the streamer or do battle royales with the things makes absolute sense.
Yeah,
it makes great. It that's where I look at the technology and go. And then once again, Nintendo then can focus on mobile marketing, keeping their mobile, because they have a strong mobile market. But you bring those games forward, you're able to bring that in. Also, bringing those classic titles into there, like Mario 64, I can't beat this jump part. Having somebody be able to jump in and help you with that, having the assist like that, it makes sense for Nintendo. Because
it's interesting times, really, isn't it? It's that change that we've expected coming, because we've been here before.
Sega. I look at Sega, and Sega, once again, has done wonders. Like, they have come back in a strong way after, like, losing out on that console war. There's a ton of great games that they're involved in. Hell, I play one of them on a daily basis. Football Manager.
Oh, yeah, good point, yeah.
Football Manager is a Sega title. Think about that. Football Manager. So they've reinvented themselves. I mean, you look at Capcom. I mean, not a console thing, but once again, a company that was trash not 5 years ago. And we're going to be talking about my pick, spoilers, for Game of the Year already.
I mean, you've got Devil May Cry 5. They did the remaster of Resident Evil 2.
Mm-hmm.
So
Resident Evil 7?
Yeah, Resident Evil 7 last year. Resident Evil, the remaster of that as well. So, they have been making names.
We're in an interesting. So ultimately, I believe that and this is kind of my thought is it's a hold on the industry. It's because we need more information. It's interesting. It's revolutionary, but this could be a Peter Molyneux moment. And Google has, and this is an exact quote. Google has canceled 147 projects before.
Bloody hell!
Since their inception that they've gone through. Now, some of them have been more ambitious than this. But just remember, this is the problem with introducing and coming out with a new console, that it doesn't have an established thing. Now, they've got a lot going for it. They are Google. They have just about as much money as God. So they can literally throw it. They have a very good, they have a seasoned person, a part of their studio for developing first party games.
Yep.
I worry that they're going to basically tell their first party design studio, as with most consoles, build something that shows off. Your first game is build something that shows off what the console can do and what the console is made for, versus making an actual game.
Yeah.
So basically build a playable tech demo that we can sell to people, versus actually being able to build a game that's worth of any substance.
Good morning.
Good morning, Hurgleman.
Good morning.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
So we just finished talking about Stadia.
Stadia.
Yeah, see, we've been here before. Again, it's not only have we been here before with Sega going, just publishing games on live.
Yep.
Wasn't that what 2011 that came out?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was the same sort of thing. Only you had the little console box with it that came with it, and the controller. You still streamed it. You still, there was nothing else to it. But it eventually dived off very quickly because no one really wanted to take to it because it wasn't working right. And I remember there was a long line at EGX to get the console. And yeah, then it fell flat on its ass. It had nothing really since. So I think Google Stadia is going to be the guinea pig for this. Do I think we're ready for that? Just to have it just all online streaming? No, I think we're still about 10, 15 years away from that yet.
I say 5.
Yeah.
Or 5. Because the big thing that they're talking about is the 5G capability, because 5G is uncapped when it comes to networking, and once 5G becomes a standardized system, you're going to be able to see internet things go up. But the two bottlenecks in this process, the two things where I see Stadia having the biggest issue is once again Article 13.
Yes.
Yep.
In the UK. And then for us, it's the Internet Act. The removal of the I forget the name of it now. Net
neutrality.
Net neutrality, because now you're going to be, because even if you get 5G, you're going to have people who can still throttle your internet. Your ISPs can do that. So if you're saying, like Geo says, you get 25 megabytes a second to play this console, but you decided that the 5G, you need to pay more for that because, it's a new system because we're going to make you pay for it, or we're going to throttle your internet down so you can't play those video games. That's going to affect a ton of people who adopt the system. It's also going to affect all the streamers. They're supposed to be making a revenue off of it as well. So
it's basing itself off of 5G, which is not tied to the same setup. It's not like Comcast is going to be able to throttle your 5G connection because it's going through telecom. So the issue we face with that is not nearly the same, mostly because Google is an ISP.
But the other thing we have to worry about is that there's no infrastructure in for 5G yet, and they're still even talking about the companies that are actually going to develop it. And a lot of the major telecom companies are the ones that are buying the companies and buying the infrastructure that it's going to be the basis for 5G. So Google may be the ISP, but AT&T is still going to use is still going to own the hardware that Google's using to go through it. So that cost is going to trickle down to you at some point.
Right, but it's not using the cable infrastructure. It's using the cell infrastructure.
Right.
Which the cell infrastructure is a lot more open. It's a lot more accessible. It's a lot freer, honestly. The problem is basically like, at the moment the cell infrastructure is a bit spotty. And of course 5G isn't there, but I'm not sure how long 5G is going to take because we still don't have a full 4G network up.
Nope.
Yeah, a lot of things still
We have
take
it in
plenty
some
of time.
places, but not everywhere.
We still don't have a full 3G network up here.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true here too.
Mm.
I only get LTE in a lot of places, and there's still dead zones in the middle of Bristol.
Oh yeah, that was like I was talking to Kim. That's what was happening to me. Like coming from Connecticut to Ohio. I quickly lost LTE, and most of the spots are barely 4G spotty as well. So like a lot of these areas gonna be heavily affected to try to use that here, where we live.
Train stations here are a notorious dead spot.
Go to Japan. Cell service wherever you go. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That was
Japan,
when my buddy came back from Japan. He said that was the weirdest thing for him, is not being able to have cell service wherever he goes.
yeah.
Because like he'd be like, "We're going through the mountains," like because he lived on the best way to describe it is he lived on, if you look at Japan, kind of the inner elbow in the China Sea, and so to get to Tokyo, you have to go across Japan. And you have to go through and above mountains. And he'd be like, I'd have 4 bars the entire time.
Wow.
Because Japan has infrastructure. But then again, Japan has to maximize space. Doesn't have the amount of land area that you need to do for this. But once again, I see this as a technology that's coming out that is pushing the boundaries, that in 5 years, when infrastructure is being laid and it started to really happen, will really become a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, also, my question is, how would that handle 2 people's setups in the house if they want to play different games?
I think it depends. Once again, I think it's the same thing like if you have a controller.
Yeah.
We have that technology already. If you have a controller, the one that goes into your Switch, you know who's player 1 and who's player 2. And you can even assign an account to that controller. So if you assign an account to one controller and to the other one, if you want to say, it's probably going to be a button that says, like, what do you want to sync to? Your phone, your computer, or your TV. If John's on the TV, it's like going to a Chromecast. You want to send something to the Chromecast, but somebody else is already there. You're either going to add it into the queue or be told, this person's already using that device. Here are the other devices that you can connect to. They already have that infrastructure in there with Chromecast.
Yeah.
I just don't know how they're going to do it for the controller that's like, oh, okay. Or it's going to be like, probably start on your device and say, click to start playing the game. Connect this controller, and you've already named the controller because you've hooked it up to your Google Home. And say, okay, connect controller with device, and then bang, you're in. They're probably going to just have it built into like they have for the Chromecast app in Chrome.
Because I'm thinking 2 people playing different games. Like, for example, we have 2 consoles here, one for Rob and one for myself. So if we're both trying to stream via Google for 2 different games, that's going to surely cut the bandwidth down as well.
Better have 50 megabytes a second.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, again, it's not based off of your house bandwidth. It's not based off of that. It's based off of the cell bandwidth, which the goal for 5G it's to focus on the IoT.
It's uncapped.
So they're focusing on building everything so that it can talk to not just your core mainframes and everything very quickly, but it's trying to talk to the edge as well. And the people who are working on that are working on things that are a lot more of this spider web of physical objects. So the point of 5G is a lot more to build an infrastructure for things that move, things that don't normally talk to the web directly, but should be. So their design for it is surrounding things like self-driving cars, like drones, like smart factories, smart cities, all these fancy schmancy things. And so once the infrastructure is there, once it exists, I mean, in theory, once it exists, that's the core thing. I'm going to keep saying in theory. Everything I say will be in theory. But once it's there, it shouldn't be nearly as much of a problem. So since Google is helping back this too, then you're not going to have a problem with having 3-4 consoles in the same house playing at the same time.
Right.
Because they're going to find the bandwidth. They're not limited in the same scope as home consoles, where if you had like 2 people playing the same game, you could actually not be able to play either one.
Because we still have that now with the Xbox. We can't have both of us playing online on the Xbox. Our bandwidth is over 50 megabits per second. It just because the Xbox, especially the original Xbox One, it decides it wants as much bandwidth as it can take. Whereas the PS4 goes up to about 4 megabits per second and just goes, yeah, we'll have that. That's fine for streaming. So it's a lot easier on the PS4 than the original Xbox Ones. But we live in an interesting time, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, we're gonna have a new console war, which is the download wars.
Honestly, I think Stadia is gonna flop.
Yeah, but I think it's gonna have wider sweeping market trends that are gonna make larger companies. Apple, who's looking into a gaming streaming service. Obviously, Amazon is either building their own or acquiring existing companies because of their revenue to be able to build their own infrastructure.
No, Amazon already has it. Amazon already has their own game streaming, or not game streaming, but game distribution service.
Yeah, but then it's just, how do we make this a console and integrate it to Twitch? Which they've started to.
It's the fucking 80s all over again.
It is.
Yeah. Yep. Like, it'll definitely help, at least succeed or not. Definitely helps us like lay the ground for the next inventable one or whatever the main console is gonna do. Like, okay, what would they do that we can integrate? Because definitely nowhere near for this to fully work right now. Like we said, a lot of issues going on between like the UK, here, everywhere. Like for it to sustain right now. Even YouTube itself, like with their issues, the apocalypse, and all that stuff, like, because like, what would we actually be able? Because like I said, my biggest concern too is, what would we be able to stream, or what do we get dinged? Will we no longer be able to use the stream service? We have to make a new account if for some reason we're dinged for whatever we're playing. Like like how would that work?
Well, I imagine that Stadia's system is going to be running off your Google Play account.
Well, it's the other thing too you have to realize too with Stadia is that you're going to be able to stream any game from Stadia, but that also means that Google is going to dictate what games you can stream because they're only going to offer certain games on Stadia. So in a sense, it's a mark of censorship.
Yeah.
Who said it? There was a weird statement that somebody said. It said the market for games is not going to be dictated by the consumer; it's going to be dictated by the developer.
That was the head of Epic Game Studios that I posted in our Discord. By the way, everybody, you should join the TGWPIS Discord.
He's kind of right.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say he's 100% right, but he's kind of right.
He's in the ballpark.
Let it feel little, not you.
Yeah.
Because we the gamers, we're gonna follow where the good games go.
Yeah.
We're gonna go for the good games. But the difference also is that we also have the option to just not.
Yeah.
I think the power of just not is significantly overlooked.
Star Wars Battlefront 2
was
the power of just no. The gamers went no, and it was a flop.
Yep.
But then guess what? Apex Legends happened, and in the first month made $93 million.
This people say if I was watching like almost no marketing or anything, just straight up, here you go, play it, and then just word of mouth.
It's Fortnite. That's how Fortnite happened.
Yep.
That's how Minecraft went viral too. There was never an advertisement anywhere for Minecraft until way late in its production, and after Microsoft bought it.
Does anybody remember? Oh, what's his face? I'm trying to remember him now. He was huge back in the day. He doesn't do anything now. So he was English streamer. His real name is Tom Syndicate. The Minecraft project.
Yeah.
I heard the name. I don't think I watched it.
3 years, all he did was it was like him building this just doing a Minecraft build. And that was huge. I watched that because and that's what got me into Minecraft. I mean, that's what gets me into most of my video games. Is I watched it and I was like, hell yeah, I'm down. And I bought Minecraft and I've loved it ever since. Just for me, Dr. Benji FM and Football Manager. I watched it. It was like, hell yeah, I could get into this. And then 1,000 hours later, I played the game a fucking ton.
Get those rookie numbers up.
Get those. It's just. I gotta get it up to my WoW numbers. Gotta get up to my WoW numbers of 60 days of gameplay.
Oh, you gotta get up to my actually 60 days of gameplay, 24 hours, 6. Yeah, that's 12.
It's a lot. That's on one character. That's not including all my alts.
That's fine.
It's
you gotta get it up to my Anarchy Online. My Anarchy Online numbers.
I don't have
3 or 4 real life months.
I don't have a problem. I really don't have a problem. Here, people. I really don't. I just don't have a problem. I don't know.
James, I don't need to G Fuel raw.
I don't know what you're talking about here, people. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have a problem. I swear to God. I'm fine, guys. It's totally good. Totally good.
Yeah, Kimmy, that was a bad time to try to have a drink.
So that's the news.
It's good. It's fine.
Still orange juice all over my computer.
So, speaking of special guests, we got them here. Kimmy, the Patreon saint of TGWPI.
I don't have any crushed up stuff to snort. Take the bit as far as I could.
I mean, you could be one of our friends from Hurgleman. Remember one of our friends who snorted candy cane.
Oh.
No, instead, I'm going to enjoy these wonderful Ruffles potato chips. Ruffles, the official, not official chip of the game will play itself.
I did have 2 drunken friends snort baking powder.
What?
Oh.
Yeah, they were pissed. They just were at a house party, and it's just they were just wondering. They were trying to take juices down in one go. There was barbecued sausages hidden around the house in various places. And while the host was out looking for people at a pub, they decided to snort baking powder.
That sounds painful.
It was. Their nostrils were burning for a couple of days afterwards.
Good way to clear out your sinuses, though.
Yeah, they won't have any sinuses left after that.
Can you smell that? No, I can't. I mean, why? You just have not no. I can't smell anything. I haven't been able to smell since 3 months ago.
I also remember them when they were putting the sausages around this house, finding his porn collection.
Oh my God!
And trying to watch the porn collection and then phoning him on his mobile because I couldn't get video playing to watch the porn collection. That's a good night.
Hey, Tom. Tom. I want to watch big Asian titties. You need to help me watch big Asian titties. How do I get it to work?
It was along those lines.
Yeah, because everybody has been there, either doing that or has watched somebody do that or been on the end of that.
Yep.
In my case, it was busty cops, too. Don't judge. You know where that is. Everybody at least has an ID inkling about that.
We're all friends here. It's fine. We're not judging.
No king shame.
So
Okay, they don't judge you. I'll judge you harshly.
That's fine. But
Yeah.
it's just,
Like 2, come on, it's all about Busty Cops 3, man.
I think it really went downhill. Like there was a room for a sequel, but the third one just didn't need to happen. Now, are we talking about Busty Cops or Beverly Hills Cops? Because I'm really getting confused now.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's both. It's a porn parody of that.
Or is Beverly Hills Cop a parody of Busty Cops?
Touche.
There's the meta.
Yes.
Doing parodies of porn that are legitimate movies.
That's gonna be a thing that soon.
Yep.
You watch.
Yep. We said it. I'm sure there's somebody right now just doing a screenplay. Oh,
Actually, no, they did. They already did. It was bad, but it was really 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
Screaming totally in a different way.
I mean, essentially. He took somebody's slash fiction, which is most romance novels, turned it into a romance novel, and then turned it into a movie.
Yeah, 50 Shades of Grey was fan fiction of Twilight.
Yeah.
So they took,
Then they make like 2 other movies too out of it now. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
We can't get away from 50 Shades of Grey, by the way. That it has its moments in this podcast. By the way, I've enabled the quote command.
Nice.
Okay.
So that's the thing. Like, I've been working on things in the background. I still haven't gotten the freaking chatbot to work.
It's time for me for my quotes then, Lard.
Yeah, time to get your quotes going.
I just found a CD that's that.
Which keeps Gio busy while we talk to our other guest, Kerry.
I'll go back to fixing stuff.
We have you on for a couple of reasons, don't we? One, because you're the patron saint of TGWPIS, we wanted you on anyway. But you're doing some streams over the next week.
Yep.
Would you like to tell us why you're doing the streams and what they can do to help you?
Well, my former band director, I've known him like 20-something years. He's having some like major medical issues with his kidneys, mostly his kidneys, and he needs help like paying his medical expenses. I mean, this guy does a lot of work for the community, and I just want to do something to give back to him. Like, even though he's still been like super ill, he still went to the school and for the drama production and directed Cinderella. I was there like every day, building sets, doing everything he could to help out the community. These students learn like acting, learn music, and he's just a phenomenal guy. And I really just want to like give back to him.
Sorry, 1 second. I'm just sort of talking away. But yeah, so what sort of streams are you doing, or what sort of days are you doing this? Are you doing the charity streams for? So people can actually come in along and actually watch and take part.
We haven't really set like times up yet, but we're going to probably do like a lot of like mini streams. We have agreed that we're going to do Beyond Two Souls together. We haven't decided who's going to be who yet, though, which is going to be fun. We're just probably going to be arguing the whole time.
Yeah, but basically, I can catch it between both our streams. We'll go back and forth. So definitely, I'll be supporting. I'll be pushing to have the link as well. So definitely can watch on both our streams. So we'll both be trying to push the thing going on.
This is the link to my friend's GoFundMe to help him out. He's raised $900 and I have to look again, $25. I could show up making something crazy. No, you can't. We're still like trying to get my game capture card going up and working from my computer, so I can do like a lot more that way, and probably some Spyro Crash will be playing, or I'll be playing, because Gio bought his games for me.
Well, she said if I don't bring it, she's gonna kick me out and leave me outside. So I had to bring them.
I did not say that. I implied it. There's a difference.
Have you got swear jar for Geo then? During these two, like Spyro and Crash, because the more he swears, the more you should pay to help.
You know what? I do have a jar in the room that has change in it. He probably should start contributing to that.
I think that's a good idea. I don't know what you guys think. So yeah, is that lasting all this week, or is it a continuing thing for the year?
All week.
Right.
We haven't set any specific times for anything yet. We can just follow along on Twitter. We'll post when we're going to go live, probably. If I remember, Gio will. He's the one who does all the Twitter stuff for me, because I just forget. Probably about 5 to 10 minutes before we go live.
Cool.
So that way people have an idea when we're about to go live, hopefully.
Yeah. So where is it they can actually catch you during the streams?
You can catch me at twitch.tv/kbaviera. You can catch Gio at twitch.tv/Reese's Wave. And we'll both be doing stuff correctly all through the week.
Nice. So, with saying that, what have you been playing this week?
Mostly Plants vs. Zombies. Or nothing at all.
Coffee and war every time, so it takes forever to get anything.
Excuse me. You do it too.
Only when necessary, not when we're doing walk around. Yeah, it's war, Gio. Help, come save me.
I just run away. I don't ask for help.
No, you made me come over, then you run away.
I do no such thing.
Oh, please.
And you sort of dropping yourself in it again, Gio, to rescue you, and then you bugger off and just sit there, eating biscuits and drink tea while he's getting killed.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sounds like a good plan to me.
Oh, we're playing Garden Ops, and I'm off doing something else, and he's there trying to defend the.
All by myself every time. It's cool. It's not like our base is being attacked. It's okay. I'll just stay here.
Sounds about right. So if that's all you've been playing, Kimmy, what have you been playing, Gio?
Maybe besides the trip here, what I've been playing this week. Let's see. I actually finished 2 games. 2 more games. I finished Kingdom Hearts 3 last week. So that was fun.
Yeah.
A little emotional. Might have been a couple tears. What? I literally just played 11 games in a row. And to finally be over. For now. Be another 20 years, we'll get the DLC or 4. Give it another 20 years.
I have to say I did not like Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah, I knew a few people who didn't even finish it. I
didn't get out of the prologue.
I think I had a friend who lasted. I think he lasted a world or 2 after the prologue, and then he was like, "I'm done." But he's more of hardcore, he's more into games that are Dark Souls, stuff like that. So he found it, and I think he played on the current hardest mode. And he was like, "This was too easy for me, way too easy. I'm just pressing triangle /X, and I'm bored."
Which game?
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's I was okay with it. I do understand that. That felt like a lot. I tried mixing it up all the time, but yeah, I definitely see where you could literally just press X or just press triangle to win the game. But for the most part, I was I think I still had kind of the high previous playing all the games. That I was still enjoying that, getting the conclusion. So that kept me going. So I still enjoyed it for the most part. But yeah, like I said, I finished that. I finished Metro Exodus. So that was pretty fun. A little over too quickly for me. But apparently we should hopefully be getting DLC at some point, though. Because I did get the season pass, though. Because I got a major discount with it.
Don't worry, they'll put that DLC on the Google Play Store. So
you
have to download that to get to it.
Yeah, yeah. So it's whenever and whatever it is. The only one thing, obviously, because I basically got the expansion for free, but it was like, there's no, we don't know what's it's gonna be an expansion or when it's coming out.
It's now Loot Crate.
Yeah, like it could be. That's the thing. I'm like, oh, I really hope it's something that adds to the game because it's like it's gonna be suck if it's just like, there you go, a couple loot crates to beat the game even easier.
Artrium, you've not gotten extremely expensive AK-47 that has been passed down from Stoland. He made it himself by slaying the blood of his capitalist enemies. So now you must take this AK and go out into this metro and murder everyone.
Oh look, but it has shiny golden gun.
It's great. You will use this and slay many capitalists.
I mean, the best part about that joke is that everyone in that game is a capitalist.
Yes. That was a crazy game. And then lastly, the only last main thing I beat, I also finished was the sequel to 6, Shards of Darkness, which was another fun game. I definitely say way better than the first. Almost every issue I had with the first, I feel was mostly for the most part addressed in the second. So like that was a fun. Not too hard in the game. Another game, not too hard for platinum. Literally just play the game. They're like, here you go. You actually play our game. Here's a platinum. It's like that was literally the game trophies wise. It's like, oh my god, you play our game. Here's a platinum.
Oh, that's nice of them.
Yeah, it's like that easy of a platinum. It's like, you play our game. Here you go.
I'm sorry. I'm still thinking about Metro and go. Now, Artyom, we have this new mission for you. We are going to be sending you into this area. It is very dangerous with 99 other people in this area. You will have no equipment, but it will be slowly shrinking because the radiation will be creeping in on you as you go. And you must survive.
Only means I can get between armor.
You must survive till the end.
True. That's so true. Every game, it's like, can't we just send like the sniper far away? She's like, no, not him. You have to go. We have a medic. No, you by yourself.
There will be other people in this area. You must beat them all to survive and get to an extraction. Because we can only send one dune buggy that has one spot for one person to leave. Even if you team up with your teammates, you must kill them all before you leave. It is very grim and dark. And oh, by the way, they all happen to be also named Rangers Artyom. It's very strange. We don't quite understand it ourselves. Also, even though it's Metro, you're jumping out of plane. Right? It's fine. Don't worry about it, Artyom. It makes perfect sense. Oh, by the way, you can buy this as DLC on the Amazon Prime Plus store, which you'll need to download other downloadable thing to do because they give better price break for you. It's very good DLC. We trust you. You want it. Fuck capitalists.
Hold on, let me correct you. Let me correct that. You'll need to go over to Amazon Prime Store in order to buy the game and then get the DLC. Download it on your Twitch application for desktop.
Which we have bought from curse.com.
If you want Metro Exodus, press 1.
Yes.
Is that how you've been playing?
Yeah. I mean, we can just keep James going, but yeah.
Send your royalty check to james@thegame-will-play-itself.com.
For any complaints, go to Tom Parrott.
For any complaints, please email jeff.bezos@amazon.com. He's our forwarding service for all of this.
He's the Bezos Nezos.
Yeah, he knows. The Bezos knows.
But yeah, that's it for me.
Okay.
it.
I'll let you go next, mate.
Devil May Cry Football Manager.
Done.
Boom. We'll talk about Devil May Cry in a bit.
Done. Just
done.
Drop the. Oh wait, it's connected to the boom, so I can't drop the mic.
I didn't play anything this week, so you can skip me.
Okay, fair enough.
You
Okay,
played
to
in my
myself.
heart.
Yeah, you've played with our emotions by not being here and then being here, making us happy again.
That's true. That's true. Look, I gotta build suspense.
Yeah.
Yes, will he be here? Will he not? You're gonna have to listen in. So,
Will we
my-
finally
what I-
understand who Dave Nova is? Will somebody finally take Halo 5? Who has the pants? Coming up next week on the game. Will
Yeah,
Play
who's
Itself.
pants for these?
Oh my god.
So, what I've been playing.
Okay. When did this turn into a telenovela? When wasn't it a telenovela? Have you not watched the last 2 seasons? It's been building for this exact moment.
If you think James should go left, turn to page 402.
Yeah,
If you think James should go right and punch a badger in the face, go to page 4.
that's episode 50. TGWPIS Bandersnatch. Choose your own
Choose your own podcast adventure.
Oh my god.
No, we just have to pre-record about like 8
Exactly.
different endings to the show, and then like we just like get to a point, and then we stop it, and we run a poll for everybody in chat, and they choose where they want us to go, and then it just goes
Exactly.
to the next one.
That'll be a perfect thing for a perfect moment. And then on YouTube, you can do that. Click left or right, boom. And they
No.
can go down to a rabbit hole.
We have to use
That was
YouTube,
actually
though.
really cool.
Yeah.
That was
Did-
Markiplier's whole adventure things. Those were really cool. I'm excited for him to do another.
Yeah.
Is anybody else excited for like the next like choose your own adventure thing that they're doing for Netflix? Is actually a choose your own adventure with Bear Grylls.
What?
It is
No,
literally. You ever heard that show Surviving with Bear Grylls, where he would go out with
Yeah.
like superstars and like they
Yeah.
would go and try? Yeah, so it's first person with Bear Grylls, and you get to choose your own adventure with Bear Grylls.
Oh,
Wow.
That sounds terrible, and I'm making it.
How
I
are
just-
they? But how are they gonna make you drink your own piss? That is the question.
I say it's gonna be like
Boggles
they're
the mind.
gonna activate all the cameras in your house. Like, I'm watching you. Like, hey, we are watching you. You better go take a leak in that cup and drink it.
I just thought of this could be our debut on Pornhub.
Alexa, play Desposito. Say ding dong. What? You need to drink this. How did you know? We know.
James has arrived at the petrol station. What does he buy?
Weirdest IRL stream ever.
That's your vacation over here, isn't it? Before we go to Corby FC, you'll be like, do you want to stop off for something to eat? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's all
There's a
right.
petrol station just here.
Oh, great. I could use a bite. And just a bite. And
And
dude, what's wrong with these people? We're just getting food.
Oh,
you need something during halftime, aren't you?
James goes into a petrol station, and you won't believe what happens next. He just buys Twinkies
Is that the
and
clickbait
leaves.
before the masturbate?
Yeah, I know.
Oh my god.
Your podcast hosts literally do nothing erotic.
The most wholesome video on Pornhub you'll ever
Oh,
see.
the spice! It's weird. I think he's gonna be like he may be. I think there's talk of him presenting at the AVN Awards. Of Ryan Creamer presenting at the AVN Awards, which I am like. Once again, let's as an industry, there are plenty of faults with it. But as an industry, the fact that they can take themselves not that seriously to the point where they allow somebody who does essentially nothing for their industry except mock their industry by not doing what they do to accept him wholeheartedly into their industry as a part of it.
Yep.
There are a lot of people who want to have him just interview porn stars just about normal stuff. Like they come on and they just talk about the weather and food and stuff. And that's it. I'm like I would watch that. I think it could be very interesting. Because also it's a positive thing because you're taking these people who are obviously objectified and you're humanizing them, so you get to understand who they are as people, what their goals, what their likes, their dislikes are, and it takes them away from being objects of affection and turns them into human beings. And I really think that would help out a lot in the industry in the future.
Yeah.
Yes, it would. So, what I've been playing.
Give me the argument for against that side of the thing. I want to know.
I can't give you an argument.
Because we're progressive here at TGWPIS.
Exactly. Hello, Viper. Welcome to the podcast. So right, what I've been playing, because this I think we should roll this in to the Devil May Cry spoiler part. So I'm going to leave that to last, but I am going to start with, I have been playing some Exodus as well, and I think it's like 65%, 35% me being a fuck up, whereas the game glitching to hell. Because, it's fairly open world on there. You can go and find other bits. You can go find other, like, little areas with question marks before you do the main mission. I did that, and I went to a terminal, which had a big monster in it, and a rail car. And I got the rail car ready to work. So I went up to the rail car. I couldn't get into it at all. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? So I looked around for some glitches, and people were like saying, well, there's some parts of the rail car missions that is glitched. And I'm thinking, okay, why the hell can't I get into this? Because I saw a video of how to do this, because obviously I'm being thick here, surely.
Oh, yes, you are.
And there was a button. There's a button that comes up that is contextual, so it puts you into it. But that wasn't coming up. And I'm like, what's going on here then? So I go back to a previous save that was on the cloud rather than an actual game, because you can't get previous saves on the game properly. So I lost about a couple of hours. I went back to it. I looked, and there was a couple of missions I didn't do. So I was trying to get ahead of myself, and it wouldn't work properly unless I've done these two.
Really?
So, yeah, seriously. Saving Anna.
Yeah. No. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. You probably went ahead.
I had to do that this time. I didn't realize, because it didn't fully say, oh, you're supposed to go here. You're supposed to go here, because the X moved as I went towards the terminal. So it wasn't as if I actually saw, that I was meant to go back there and do that part, and then do further along the rail line, and then go to the terminal. It didn't tell me that at first. It didn't say you should go here.
Yeah, that's weird. That didn't happen to me. Then again, I think I did the side stuff first, and then focus on the main story.
Yeah, which is kind of what I'm doing again now. I'm moving the story along to where, you meet the guy on the rail line who's in the post, who's just in that rail car. And he's just like, I'm just keeping watch. There's some bandits over there torturing people. And then you got the terminal ahead. That's where I am now again on it. So I've still got a couple of places to open up again. I am finding it a struggle. I'm not liking it as much as I'd love the other two. I don't know whether it's because I'm dying a lot, and it's like one or two hits from the animals in there, and then I'm dead. I don't know whether it's that or not, but
yes, and that's something you'll learn eventually. It took me a bit to get used to like the game mechanics, because especially something you gotta learn. It's not like where the previous games where it's like, you can pretty much shoot to kill us and a lot of simple things. A lot here, you have to be a lot more smarter and conservative. That took me a while to get used to. Like, look at the shrimp. I can kill this easily. No, here they're super armored. So I'm like, oh crap. I'm like, bang, bang, bang. I easily waste bullets. So you have to be a lot smarter. What gun you use, how you're using it. Make sure it's not getting like jammed. So it's like there's a lot more thoughts that go into it. So it's like it's being too used to playing like the original two ways. Where this one you have to, it's not as simple.
Yeah, because you have to clean your gun every sort of 5 minutes, it seems. Otherwise, you're going to have to keep trying to unjam it or reloading it, which is a pain in the ass.
So, yeah, that's why it's good to explore first. So, okay, I know where to go. Boom, clean it real quick, using tricks and stuff. So, yeah, it's definitely not easy early on. Like, it takes a while to really get used to it. And once you do, then it's like, once you kind of get used to the mechanics of the world, it helps get a lot easier for you.
I mean, I'll still be continuing on because I want to get past at least that area because, you know, now it was fun killing that monster in the way you did.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so there was that, which I'll play more of. I've been playing again sort of bits of things rather than full on. I mean, I did go kind of abandoned gamers with that e-penis section with trophies because on the store this week there was another low price sale, and some of the games that are easy platinums were like £2 or £1.19. So I picked up 4 of them. I like Tetris Escape, which is like a platform puzzle where you use Tetris blocks from these little characters. You change them into Tetris blocks to get you from A to B.
Well,
Quite fun.
I remember that one.
It wasn't offensive. It's got an Inksplosion, which is like a twin stick shooter. Again, quite easy, quite quick for the platinum. 36 fragments to Midnight and Midnight Deluxe. I'm sort of working my way through slowly but surely because they're a bit trickier.
Yeah.
So again, it's just the usual stuff. You know, played a bit complete Trine with Lisa. Last Lisa, hello if you're listening. Played your favourite game in the entire world, James, with Lisa, Michael, and Gio.
What game?
Uno. Your best favourite game in the entire world.
I'm sorry, I blacked out there for a second. What were we talking about?
So I go to sleep for a second. Grand Tour seems to be kind of fixed with some of the trophies, so I've got those back. Played Trine 3. Now, Trine 3 is different to the other two because it's more of like a 2.5D world now, so you can move inwards and outwards. I actually enjoy it a lot more because the way they've set it up now, it feels, I don't know, it doesn't feel as linked as the other two, but it just feels better, less. What? So what? What am I saying?
You're enjoying the extra half-inch of D?
Yes. Wouldn't we all enjoy the extra half a D? I did a first hour look at Sekiro. Shadows Die Twice.
Sekiro!
Now this. You can't go into it thinking it's a full Dark Souls game. You can't go into it thinking it's Bloodborne. Because the mechanics, they've made it definitely different.
Yeah.
It's all about taking your time, guarding, picking your moment, changing different strategies for different bosses. There are weak points that it tries to teach you. It as who was it was saying about? It was Rach. Don't Rage Quit when she did her review for it for What Culture. She basically said it takes you by the hand for a little bit to learn the skill, the new skill you go from there, and then it beats you down until you beat it, until you beat the boss, and then it does it again, repeats, picks you up.
Gently do it by the hand to the cliff, and then it throws.
Yeah.
Yep.
Come here, I got you. It's okay. Let me teach. Okay.
The difference between this though and Bloodborne so far is it doesn't reach a point, or it hadn't reached a point in that first hour I played where I was ready to just rage and chuck the controller away and say, no, fuck this. I'll come back later. There wasn't that point yet. I mean, it was early, grant you.
The question is, have you seen any bosses yet with a giant masturbating hand?
Not yet. But then again, I say I'm only an hour, so I did have a little trouble with the boss, but that was just getting used to it. It was, you could see on the video that I was at a point where I was rubbish.
Yeah.
Not quite as rubbish. Okay, that almost got him, and look, I blitzed him. Job done. Sorry. What was that, dude? What was that, Chris?
And then you go back to rubbish.
Yep, then you go back to rubbish for the next bit. Everything else, I played a bit of Pool, We Are Doomed, and all the other stuff you can see on my Twitch channel and YouTube of the Game World Play itself. Because it'll be coming on very soon onto the YouTube channel. And the only other thing that we were going to talk about, because I completed it just before the show last week, and James completed it the day after us, is Devil May Cry 5.
Is this a spoiler bit?
This is the spoiler bit.
This is where I'm going to step out and continue my day. One, because I have to actually get some shit done. But two, because now I dodged the spoilers. So before the spoilers go, everybody have a lovely afternoon.
And Chris, we'll talk a little bit later because this afternoon.
It is today.
It is today. I am woefully unprepared.
Today's the day.
Good. I'm making sure to pounce on every weakness you show.
Good. That's as I would expect.
Giggity.
It's D&D tonight. So.
Oh, I bet it is.
Yep.
Good night, everybody.
See you later, Chris.
Bye, Chris.
See you later, dude.
And so everybody, I think this is So I guess we have to pull this up real quick, just so everybody knows that it's spoiler time. So.
Oh, I was reading the stats.
Condition red.
This is your warning.
That was your warning about spoilers, everybody. If you don't want Devil May Cry spoiled, now's the time to leave.
Yes.
It's been out for what, 3 weeks, 4 weeks now? It's
3.
It's enough
About 3
time
weeks.
for people who've been playing Spirit periodically can beat the game. I would know. I beat it.
Same.
So
I was periodic, right?
thank you. If this is where you're ending the show, congratulations. Thank you for making this long. We've been the Game Will Play itself. You've been you. We appreciate everything you've done. Okay, then bye-bye. Now it's Devil May Cry 5 time.
This game's awesome.
It's great. It's great.
If it's in a nutshell, it's awesome. I mean, I played it on Devil Hunter mode. So I think that was like normal mode, and I found it as a breeze.
Yeah. It eases you into it. I feel that like the whole point of it is you kind of like you're tutorialed in through the first playthrough because you want to feel badass. When you unlock Dante, surprise, you play as Dante. It's you're meant to feel like a fucking badass because he has all this shit. He's been doing it for a long time. And it's just like, well, this is great. It's just how much murder can you do? V, fun character. All very drastically different in the play styles.
Yeah, I like the way with V you can use some demons you summon to fight instead. All you have to do is dodge out the way once, when they come at you. So you take the damage, but I do like that variance.
Essentially, this is how I played V, is target, spam X and Y, just like this. Just press the two buttons together, kite left, press B, then keep going again to the next target. Because that's how V is very easy to play. But he can also get caught out, and if he gets caught out, you're screwed. He doesn't have too much in the way of get out of jail free.
Well, no, I think they've also played into the story with that. Because, he was very weakened. To the point where it almost feels like he is dying.
He is dying. They say that, you remember, he's holding on to whatever demonic energy that he has to keep himself alive until he gets to that point.
Yes.
But I would say overall, this is probably this is the Devil May Cry of the series. It builds on everything. The characters are good. The acting is great in it. It starts off slow, it builds, and then it gets anime as all hell at the end, which I'm very happy about. It's serious when it needs to be, but also never takes itself too seriously, which I think is very in touch with the thing. And all the characters are believable and all have motivations. Yes, there's bits where there's plot hole here and gaping plot hole there and weird kind of thing happens here, but it does gloss over that because it is Devil May Cry, and we've, especially after 3, which I believe was the shining pillar in the series up until this point, Like, we had gotten used to kind of the absurdity of the universe. I mean, like, in the world where, like, giant tentacles are coming out and stabbing people and sucking their blood away, and, like, they haven't nuked the thing from orbit already.
Yeah. You would think they would try, wouldn't you?
There are tons of great callbacks in the game to plenty of things. The Cerberus fight, for instance. Come on, boy. Take you for a walk. It's just a straight callback. Everything to do with Virgil. I mean, there was no real surprises going on in this game. Like, there wasn't any, like, bait and switch. Like, you kind of knew what was happening since, like, the third cutscene.
Yeah.
Like, once Nero has his arm ripped off, like, okay. Like, we know what's happening here. And when V says, "Oh, that's the demon that took your arm," and his arm was the Yamato, you're like, well, it's Virgil. And then, like, V tells, like, you know, when Dante gets revived, Mission 10, when V tells his backstory, it's like, oh, so, yeah, that makes sense. And then after the Dante fight, you're like, oh, yeah, no, this totally makes sense. It's just building to one climax. And then it just gets anime as all hell. And it ends. And it's nice. It's another game that didn't need to do more than it did. Like, it didn't need to be longer. It didn't need to do more kind of stuff. The pacing of it was good. The storytelling angles were good. Just the way it was drawn out is good. And it's meant to be played again, because essentially Devil Hunter mode is kind of your tutorial. And then your new game plus, in the harder difficulties, is because now you have Nero's Devil Trigger, which would be a detriment to you if you were playing the game through on a harder difficulty. By the way, you can beat the game by beating Urizen in the first fight.
Oh, really?
That's an ending. Yep. If you beat, you can, because he is beatable. If you know, if you know because it's all rotational based. So if you learn the rotation, you can beat him. He's not an unbeatable boss.
Because it's that little shielding, isn't it, that you have to hit at the start, and you're like, how the hell am I getting by this? Because he ain't taking damage any other way. But it's when you get to later on, when your powers do come back up, when you get your ropes, when you get become the badass again, that's when you can go back and go, okay, now we know the pattern, now we know where the beams are coming from, now we know to move out of the way, then we can go in and get him.
And I saw a guy who wanted to beat it on the hardest difficulty. So he beat the game. He unlocked the second hardest difficulty. He went in, he beat Urizen, and that unlocked the third hardest difficulty because he technically beat the game. And it says, and it just shows a photo that says, and they all lived happily ever after. It's a legitimate ending to the game. You beat Urizen.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I like that bit.
I like that, especially like when you have like Far Cry, like in the not the newest Far Cry, New Dawn, but the last numbered Far Cry. The fact that like when you're there with Joseph Seed, and if you don't do anything, your character just walks away, and that just ends the game because your character. And I'm like, as much as Ubisoft is they make a conscious decision to be like, okay, like you can make a human decision to just walk away. And it ends the game, and it makes sense.
Yeah. Hanging around with Pagan Min. You wait around for Pagan Min to have his phone call. He come back and he goes, right, let's go blow some shit up. And that's the end of the game. So you essentially become the bad guy as well with him.
Well, that's the whole point of Far Cry games. Is it's like, how much of your humanity do you lose to get your thing done?
The thing I do want to point out as well to about Devil May Cry was someone who I know tweeted, and it was kind of like a censorship tweet about it. It's like he is saying that the only place that had the censorship of the light covering the bottoms was on PS4. Now I saw you playing on PC, weren't you, James?
Mm-hmm.
The light was there as well, so it wasn't just PS4 because apparently he's claiming that it wasn't on Xbox.
Yeah, I saw an article about that. People complaining today. Yeah, no, PC as well. The reason they're complaining more they're trying to push on Sony is the fact that Sony was doing some more censorship in a lot of their games. within our side, like they're trying to push more censorship. So they were like, oh, they quickly, oh, it's PS4 only. Like, no.
Granted, I may not have a setting turned on or something that had the light glare. I mean, if you're really hard up for it, man, just search Devil May Cry Rule 34. You'll be fine. There's plenty of that on the internet. I don't need that in my video game, unless it's a specific choice for it. Like if there is a reason for it to be there, I'm fine with it. If it's just because we want to see ladies' butt, it's like I don't. Why? How does that make anything? And there's plenty of other things that are suggestive enough as it is. Like when you're getting new arms, that's suggestive. I mean, literally sitting in the customization screen is Nico sitting in very anime poses. It's
it reminds me of the guy who's Heavy Rain, and he got to the shower scene.
Oh god!
He keeps moving his head in front of so he doesn't get banned. The funniest bits I've seen is oh no, they moved it.
Yeah, it's the very Austin Power thing, always finding a way to oh, okay, got sense. Hold on.
By the way, all those are coming to the Epic Store next month.
Oh really?
Yep, Heavy Rain, Being
Oh,
Human.
wow. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all coming to the Epic Store.
Oh wow.
Epic's paying a lot of money to get that stuff on PC.
Bloody hell.
Also,
Well,
Outer Worlds, the new Obsidian game, is going to be on Epic exclusive for the first year.
Okay.
They are really, really making some power hits like Xbox with Nintendo, aren't they? Like Cuphead's out next month on Switch.
Yeah, makes sense. It's a very Switch game. But Devil May Cry, fun game.
Yes.
My leader for Game of the Year. Hands down.
I'll ask, because I have played the previous games. What if somebody hasn't? Could they just jump into 5?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's its own self-contained story.
Yeah.
You can have catch-up on there to the other games. It does take you through the story for that. Because it shows you that number 3 is the first one.
Yeah.
Then it goes number 1, number 2, number 4, then number 5.
I know I've played them, but it's been a while since I played them.
The other interesting thing, have you checked what you can do with the cinematics?
Oh, was that the one you were showing on the stream where you can actually show the actual actors doing the mocap stuff?
It's not even
Acting
mocap.
out.
It's their storyboarding. Their video storyboards. So they pretty much shot everything as video storyboards for them to to mocap in, and they added them, and you can actually choose at the beginning of the game to watch all the cutscenes that way. So when you play through the game, those are the cutscenes. So they aren't just one-off watches. You can make them integrate as part of the game. So all of those cutscenes are just them going through.
Oh, that's sweet. That's cool.
So there's tons of little nods and stuff like that.
Like the ending of when you got the credits rolling, you still have to fight. You still have to go after the demons. That's brilliant. I do love stuff like that. And
Didn't they do that? What was the last one I played? I think didn't 4 do that? Yeah, 3 or 4 do that also.
So out of Dante, Nero, and V, who was your favourite one? Who should you go to when you had the choice to pick?
That's a good question. I think I can tell you who I like the least, which was Nero.
Yeah.
I find Nero's pretty bland compared to the other two, because he has the arms, but my problem with Nero and the arm system is that I couldn't if I wanted to change to a different arm, I'd have to destroy the one that I had to pull up a new arm. I couldn't I wanted to be able to just okay, I need to switch to this arm in my inventory, and he can do that. It's no, you have to blow it up until you get to the one you want.
I would have preferred with the arm to actually, it not be a consumable. I'd have preferred it to do what it said, but maybe charge up, do it again, as a secondary sort of thing.
Also, I mean, I don't like it, the whole rev. I almost never use the rev sword in combat, actually revving up his sword to do things. The only time I did that when I had the arm that would just make it constant, and then it would make sense. So he's the thing. He's the gameplay I did not like the most. V I liked, but also V is like it was very easy to play V, because if you basically stood halfway across the map and like did what I did, is just level up all their vitalities to max, so they took the least amount of damage and had the most health and were quick to revive. You know, you could just sit there all day and just go da 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 da, smash the thing down, da 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 da, smash the thing down. And that's it.
Summon big bloke. Jump
on the big blow. Yeah, jump on the big blow splash. Fire the laser. Yay! But obviously, I mean, Dante he's a Swiss Army knife. So you Swordmaster, you have Royal, you have the 4 styles. You have drastically different weapons that do different things. And then he just gets more and more crazy as it goes on, because his main sword changes like 4 times. That changes what you can do with the main sword 4 times. Then he gets his devil trigger, then he gets his other devil trigger, and then, you know, and you're sitting there, and by the way, then he gets nunchucks, and then he gets, and like, they're giving you like another weapon, and then, oh, by the way, now you're fighting the final boss. And you're like, oh, and then you can find Lady's bazooka, and then you get Lady's new bazooka, and then you're dual wielding bazookas. And you're like, the fuck is this game? Like,
Then you get the devil bike.
And then you get a bike that you literally like have iframes while you're using it, and then you jump on it and ride it around and like wheelie into people and stuff. And I'm just like, and for me it was like I just went full into Swordmaster style, and that was it. Because like all the other ones are interesting, like gunslinger, yay, you get to shoot the guns that don't do like any damage.
The only thing I couldn't get my head round of, and it was probably a moment that I just probably saw the control and it just went completely into my head, just rolled around in there for a second and blew out the other side, was the second devil trigger of Dante's. When the bar filled up, I couldn't access it. I couldn't.
Okay, it's really easy. All right, so you hold the devil trigger to fill it up, right? And then to access it, you hold down the devil trigger, and you'd see it glow from red to orange, and then flash. And then when that happened, you let go, and then Dante stabs himself with the sword.
Aha! No wonder I couldn't, because I was like, what?
And if you're like,
I know how powerful this thing was.
And if you're like me, what I would do in boss fights is I would devil trigger, fight all the way through, and then my devil trigger would end, and then I would sin devil trigger at the end of my devil trigger and go into the next devil trigger from, so I'd have like a minute of devil trigger to just fuck shit up. And that
because that big major devil trigger in the last boss fight, it's just amazing the amount of damage it gave. It's like Virgil never stood a chance.
And then obviously the Nero boss fight, which when he goes anime.
I also think as well on Devil Hunter mode, it gave you a lot more. You found a lot more gold, because I think at the end of it, I came out with still about 8 or 9.
I had
left.
Like 14.
Yeah,
I used 2. I had 2 boss fights that I had problems with.
Yeah, I had a couple like that.
The bird.
So I used maybe about 4 tops. But yeah, no, it did feel easy and inclusive. It did feel very welcoming as a game. I mean, my big problem was me, because when I was doing the combos, and I found my sort of arm wearing out, so I couldn't do too much of it. It's like that's probably more down to my health, my old man's arms. So I'm not playing often these sort of combo games anymore. I mean, I've still got Bayonetta to go back to. I want to go back to the other Devil May Cry. You got Gods of War. They were like this sort of stuff, and it still shows you how fun they can be. Will we see Devil May Cry 6? I hope so.
Yeah. Number one, they've got a free DLC coming out on April 1st, which is basically just a horde mode, which I think is multiplayer. You'll be able to have somebody jump in and play with you, which I think is cool.
Wow.
I'm excited for all that. So I think this is a great game. It did exactly what we wanted them to. It's in my mind, it's a game of the year over any of the other games that have come out. Just also because like how Capcom is on this upward swing now, like the stuff that they're doing is like they get it, and like this one could have been a really bad game. Not because like 4 was good for the first half, and then you basically had to play the game in reverse, and like that and it was just to pad out the game. But this was like it was the length that it was. You did it, you played it, you beat it, and I'm happy with it. And it was 20 hours, and that's fine. It was great. It was 20. It's as long as it needed to be. It had great story. It had great characters. It set up a future for a franchise. The facial animations were just out of freaking control in those cutscenes, right?
Yep.
It was that good. I can tell you exactly how long this was.
The other thing as well, I'm glad that the final boss fight was the final boss fight. There was no sort of 2 or 3 layers of boss fight. You think, oh, this is surely the end of it. And oh, no, we got a bit more. Oh, no, we got a little bit more. And then we thought we said we got, that was it. No, we got a little bit more. That I like. I like the fact that it's like, this is final boss. It's leading to final boss. Final boss. There you go. Credits time.
They fight content with just enough value. That's I think games go both ways. A lot that I've played this week where it's either super short with content or like super long but like a little bit of content.
It's a perfect balance, and like you said, when there's the final boss fight, and then there's like it does do like final boss fight, final boss fight, and then it ends, and that's it. And people may say, oh, they kind of pussied out in the final boss fight because Dante just goes, I'm just fucking done. I'm gonna sit this one out, and just like lays down on the ground. And goes like,
but then Nero in his final.
Yeah.
You didn't need Dante with that.
No, I mean, well, they do. It says like that uppercut is like, speaking about being killed, that uppercut nearly took my head off, nearly killed me, and Dante just lays down, just like, I'm done, because he's the old man in this series. He's been doing it for like decades. And once again, I think they captured everybody's character correctly. They had Lady and all of those other characters in there. They were helpful, but they didn't do that. They do enough of the origin story throughout the main story that if you've never played a Devil May Cry, it makes sense.
Okay.
It was just fun. There were fun moments in there. There was the lady helping him making his arms. She was sassy, but it was it was fun. It was a fun game. There was nothing in there that made me just go, ugh.
There were tons of nods to like Nico whenever you'd call her to do level up, like you'd see like the van come flying out of nowhere and you're like, oh, this is ridiculous, this is just funny. And then going back to that lady scene where like she's like you get to see the ass because everybody's just talking about the ass, but the whole point is like also like she's telling her to get up and grab a shovel and go dig because Nero and V are going ahead and they need to be able to catch up. So they need to clear the way to get the van through. So it's like, okay, you just assume that they could have just like never said anything, just had the van randomly show up in ridiculous ways and people would just say, oh, it's Devil May Cry. But they give you that little nugget showing, yeah, it is ridiculous. But we're actually explaining to you why we have it.
Yeah. So I'm going to agree with you, mate. Game of the year so far.
Yeah, it's gonna. I don't know what else is coming out this year that could go against it.
No.
Right now,
at least as announced, like officially. Yeah.
I mean, you could look ahead and go Last of Us Part 2.
But I don't think that's confirmed. Yeah.
Yeah, if that comes out. See, I can't say Days Gone because of what happened last year when they showed it off at E3 and
well, from the updates and from what I heard, it's apparently they're not going super crazy. It's gonna be a game kind of just it is what it is, you like it or not, whatever.
Let's call Days Gone what it actually is. All right, Days Gone is a studio that started to create a Walking Dead video game and then probably didn't get the license and said, fuck it, we just have all these assets, let's just make a game.
Yeah.
Fair.
Because literally the only other big game that I know besides that, like, from a console, it's like Rage 2 and so that, like, yeah. So far, nothing
Rage
else.
2, maybe.
I mean, Rage 2 could be super fun in FPS, but I don't think it's going to have the emotional impact to a fan base that 5 has.
Yeah, I feel that'll be more personal taste for people who enjoy that game. But I don't know about, at least, like, overall.
I like how nobody's saying Metro.
Yeah, I love Metro, but I don't, for Game of the Year, honestly. Like I said, I've beat it, and I would love to go for Platinum, but for Game of the Year, yeah. For what the game is right now, I couldn't say for Game of the Year.
For what I've played of it so far, mate, I can't say that Metro Exodus is Game of the Year.
Yeah, and like I
really enjoyed more Sekiro, what I played of that so far. That could be a contender. If it doesn't get to the point where I start getting stressed out and annoyed at it.
Yeah, I mean, Days Gone is going to be meh.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. Like, there's just let me just look at 2019 game releases. Let's just see if there's anything that we can look at.
Yeah, like I'm saying, like I'm definitely interested in Days Gone, but I don't think it's gonna be like super crazy, like nowhere near.
Yeah, I'm
like.
Well, we're also not talking about Resident Evil 2 was this year.
Mm-hmm. Not played it, so I can't say it's Game of the
Year.
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Again, not played it, so I can't say Game of the Year.
It's, like I said, from the 3 I played, one was like someone enjoyed more, but I'm sure I'll play something else that'll easily, like, will be more of my Game of the Year.
Just reading through things really quick.
Because I think, from this year, I've really played 3 and Metro.
Yeah, we got Rage.
Yes.
And then
Days Gone.
Eternal was supposed to be this year, isn't it?
Supposedly, I think
not officially announced.
Yeah, it's still TBA, so it's still like it still has like end of December tentative date, kind of thing.
Shenmue 3 is supposed to come out this.
Mm-hmm. Tsushima. The other samurai game that's coming out.
Did that actually get a confirmed date?
I thought it was. Wasn't it summer?
Gears 5 is supposed to come out this year.
Yeah, wasn't the new Halo supposed to be coming out this year as well?
Psychonauts 2.
Yeah.
And then Wolfenstein Youngblood.
Oh, Wolfenstein, now that is a potential. Because that's the one where you play the twins.
Yes.
So I mean, early running for Game of the Year for Devil May Cry 5. The funniest thing I saw yesterday on Twitter about Sekiro was a guy bought it. I went, yeah, I got to buy one. Bought one of the games of the year. He gets in and goes, I'm going to complete this easily. Another tweet afterwards. Is there a difficulty setting to turn it down? And people replied back with, "Oh dear Lord."
Oh my god.
It's like, you being serious? And then he goes, yeah, I'm going to get rid of this.
Oh my god.
It lasted 3 hours.
Did you just go completely blind into it? Like, oh yeah, it's a samurai. It looks like a samurai game. I've just played it. I like samurai.
I mean, I looked at it and I think, was it yourself I was talking to about this, James? Yesterday? I was talking about it. I don't think of it as a Souls game. I think Tenshu.
And it is. Somebody said that what they probably were doing is because Japan has a thing where if they'll make a game for an audience, or for like this will be Tenshu, and then the problem is that they change too much of the mechanics, what they'll do is they'll create a new IP and make that game the new mechanics because it's too far removed from the original source content.
Because what was who was the original publisher for Tenchu? Do we know?
I think this might be the same studio.
Was it Midway? Was it Activision?
From Software.
Ah,
Yeah.
so there we go.
Tenchu developer was acquired K2 LLC from Software.
That would make a lot of sense why it feels like it then.
Yeah, Tenchu Stealth Assassin was the first. All right, so Tenchu Stealth Assassin was Sony Japan,
Right.
and the developer was Acquire. Let me take a look here. So they did pretty much all the Tenchu series up until 2009. Tenchu Shadow Assassins. Developers was Acquire, and then the publisher was From Software and Ubisoft. So let me go back here. Look at publishers. Activision. Yeah, so Activision has been publishing Tenchu, all of the Tenchus that have come into. Yeah, Activision has been the publisher for Tenchu.
Yeah, I'm going to
So
make a leap here and say we can see why Activision published this as well.
So Sony Japan does it in Japan, but Activision was the North American and EU publisher. So that's probably why.
Yeah. So what do you guys think in chat? What do you guys think? Kimmy, what would you say so far would be your game of the year? Because, we're about a quarter of the way through.
I haven't played much.
Yeah, like I said.
I do nothing but work.
Second game of the year would be Football Manager 2019.
Lovely.
Yeah, like I said, I've only really played 2 games, so it's like, and they're both were, okay for me. And like I said, I've got emotional with 3, but besides that, like I'm sure there's gonna be other games that will come down the line.
I've beaten 2 games this year already.
I know it's amazing, isn't it?
I know it's a brand new day.
Are you going for a third?
Yeah.
God help us if I do.
God, make that Devil May Cry 4, because I know you said you were going to work your way backwards to those.
I don't know now. After playing 5, do I really want to spoil my? That's the thing. Like I've done 5. If I was really good, it's almost kind of like when you see okay, I've seen the best movie in the series. Let's go back and I've seen Battlestar Galactica, the sci-fi series. Let me go back and watch the original. And it's the original. You're like, oh, this wasn't good. This was never good. Why did I ever think this was good?
Yep. I mean, there are a few that still hold up, but I've done that with shows and stuff. Like, let me go back and watch. What did I watch? Beast Wars. Terrible, was hilarious. But then I tried. Let's watch the sequel. If I remember enjoying Beast Wars, I remember watching a bit of the sequel. I should go back and watch that too. Beast Machines. Oh my God! Why did I ever enjoy this? This is just so bad.
I mean, this is coming out in a year, but Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2.
Yes.
Will be something I'm probably going to look into playing.
Yeah, because I remember they announced that just yesterday, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. But also, I don't have the Epic Store anymore. There are a few games on the Epic Store that I am interested in. Sign me in. Fucking security code. No, I just want to look at your games, damn it, Epic. I want to look at your stuff that isn't Fortnite.
The only reason I have an Epic Games account is because of Fortnite.
Satisfactory looks really good.
Right.
I'm interested in that. Phoenix Point, which is pretty much just it's from the original XCOM guys.
Yeah. It's what Dilly Waff was on about in Discord, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Phoenix Point coming out.
What else is it?
We got Dangerous Driving next month, which is by the same founders of Criterion. So, it's a spiritual success Burnout. You've also got Snooker 19 coming out from Ripstone. That's coming out in the spring, so any time between now and the end of May, it'll be coming out. So yes, potentially a good year ahead. But
So Epic Games also has Journey coming out on the store for PC.
wow,
Whoa, what?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So for me, it's Phoenix Point is going to be a definite one. I can't confirm. I may play Detroit Become Human just because it's going to be on it.
yes. See, Detroit Become Human is a good game.
Mm-hmm.
I know people don't like David Cage, as Johnny Chiodini would say, but Detroit was really good. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I like the games.
And the two games that are probably coming out this year on it that I'm definitely is going to be getting and playing is The Outer Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And Rebel Galaxy Outlaw.
Yeah, put that on the list. Outer Worlds.
Because once again, I am not against the Epic Games Store. I think it's a great thing, and I'm very for the Epic Games Store. I'm against publishers feeding me shit about why they're changing stores when they've had a pre-order on it for a year.
Yeah. That I definitely agree. Like, that was a weird decision, especially the way they explained it. Like that.
So.
Especially
All right. So I guess we're on to shoutouts now?
Yeah, we're on to shout-outs. So we'll give, first of all, the shout-out to Kimmy.
Well,
Who would you like to shout out? Where are you going?
She just stepped out real quick because I guess she was just doing her shout out.
Okay, then, Joe, you can do your shout-outs first.
I mean, I was giving her. I was giving my to Kimmy for letting me come over her place for the week, a nice little vacation. Sounds good. So definitely, shout her out, give her a follow. Let's get her affiliated. I think she's like 11 away.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not ready, make sure to go follow Kimmy.
And also help her out with donations for her friends.
As well. What you talking about now? Thank you, Kimmy. Your shout outs.
Oh.
You want shout out?
Shout out Reese's. Reese's are the best. No. No, shout out to Gio for traveling,
Jesus, I don't even know. I think I passed by 5 different states and I think it was 10 towns.
He traveled very far to come meet me, so
Oh, and then we joked real quick too. And not just that, apparently every stop I was at, literally somebody just got out of prison. Everybody I sat next to, yeah, so I just got out of prison. How was your day? I'm just gonna scooch over here. But yeah.
Okay, so I want to shout out, first of all, Hurgleman for coming in, because I know he's had a lot of shifts at awkward times, which has stopped him coming in on all the podcasts of late. But yeah, we want to give him a shout out. And also, I want to shout out Viewer Dragon. And the reason I want to give Viewer Dragon a shout out is Tuesday, for Streamwise on my channel, was a new record was set for views, most viewers end at one point. Now, whether that was down to Twitch mucking about, I don't know. But new total views at one point was 150.
That was a weird day.
It was a weird day, but it was very, very good.
Yeah,
Did
great
stuff on Dragon Age, which is even better, and that was a good big stream as well. So, I've got to give Mew Dragon a shout out. Other people like Letitia Lemon, Fem Fox, Tracker 57, which I seem to have been adopted to his new sort of F1 podcast. How, I don't know. I just sort of stepped into the guest and, it's podcasting. Is like, okay, fine.
Don't worry, we'll get you guys up and running soon.
Yes.
Because there's one thing that I can't get away from is being Mr. Technical.
Yeah, I was asked a question of what the best person was.
We're almost there. We're almost there. We got you.
And also Tim for being Tim. I want to give a shout out to, and that's pretty much it really for my shout outs. You got any shout outs, James?
Thank you for Kim, both Breviara and my Kim. Thank you to Capcom for making Devil May Cry 5. It was super fun to play. Thank you all for understanding that there wasn't a TGWPIS FC this morning. There will be TGWPIS FC instead tomorrow. Things happened, and things are happening today so that I can't do it, so I'm probably going to do it tomorrow.
Oh, what sort of time are we looking at?
We will tweet it out. There will be a tweet. Look for the tweet.
It'll be the best tweet. Biggest tweet.
No, it'll be a tweet. It won't be biggest or bestest in any way, shape, or form. The other thing we have to figure out with that is that because we're streaming it, right?
Yeah.
But there's also points in content where we don't stream it and I just play through the save. Do people want like a middle of the week recap video on where we are between streams? Much in the line of other Football Manager streamers who do like a daily Football Manager video that's like 15, 20 minutes. And me just like recapping, this is the games you played, this is where we are, this is where the score sheets, this is where the tactic has changed, this is what I've made the changes to, and then play a game off stream and then get to the major game on stream. Because we made a decision last week that like there was 5 games that we didn't play because we wanted to get to the Corby Town Derby, which is the next stream, is leading in with the Corby Town Derby. And so we have to make that decision. Also, another important decision, if Corby Town does not get promoted with us, we are turning them into our affiliate.
Yeah.
And we are going to send them all of our good youth players and drag them up the leagues with us. That's the plan.
Which I think we should definitely do. That sounds like a plan.
You've got Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid. You're going to have TGWPIS FC and Corby Towns FC. But that being said, that's enough. That's all the Football Manager and stuff we have for you tonight. Thank you very much for coming. This has been TGWPIS at The Game Won't Play Itself. At The Game Won't Play Itself, TGWPIS. That has been Lardteamaker at Lardteamaker pretty much everywhere. You've got Reese's Wave at Kim Breviara. Find us all. That's all the socials, and I think that's about it. Who is posting something?
Wow.
Okay, that's big. Tim, do we need to talk about something? Because I think we need to talk about something. Because I guess he saw the bit war and just blew it up.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you, Tim.
Did you know what you just do, Tim? Did you know what you just do? Kimmy's already putting out all her credit cards.
Bit war that. Is this a command, I wonder?
Oh my God. She's looking for your wallet. Did you know what you've done?
Congratulations, you've earned that, Tim. I gave you that because you deserved it after that. I was normally I would do the Russian thing here, but I don't know if we can do the Russian because okay, it's time to go, and I normally do this thing, but it's been very fun. It's problems, it's things.
I have to be at least second.
Okay. Is everybody good? Can I send stream over to Reverse Pro Gamer now? Is anybody else gonna go do stuff?
Hi, I'm back.
Hello.
Hi.
Goodbye, everybody.
How's front?
It's all right.
There you go. For a little extra.
We're raiding somebody now just because I can't. All right, people, we're raiding. Here we go. Bye. Thank you. Bye now.
See you later.
I love you all. You've been very fun. We appreciate. We love you. Say hi to Reverse Pro Gamer now. You know where we came from. Goodbye.
Bye.
Move